In this video, I will be looking at some of the different symbols, patterns, figures, and decorations you may find in a Korean temple, as well as their significance and meaning. I'm by no means an expert on Buddhism, but I'll try my best to explain the themes and their interpretations. The Four Heavenly Kings. One of the first things you might see when entering a temple is a gate called the Four Heavenly Kings Gate. The Heavenly Kings of the four cardinal directions are meant to protect the temple and Buddha's teachings from evil spirits. They often look ferocious, and that's to force spirits to submit to their will. They are usually represented as statues or paintings. Sometimes we can see them trampling on demons and evil people. Their representations have changed throughout the centuries, from Shilla to Goryeo to Joseon. The Guardian King of the West is the king who sees all. He is usually depicted holding a mix of things like a snake, a dragon, a red cord, a vajra, or a jewel. He sees all non-believers and converts them to Buddhism. The Guardian King of the East is the king of music. He is usually represented playing a stringed instrument. He protects all beings. The Guardian King of the North is the chief of all kings. He is the ruler of rain. He is usually represented holding an umbrella or a spear and a treasure tower. He is also associated with wealth. The Guardian King of the South is the king who oversees the growth of roots. He is usually seen with a sword, and he is the ruler of the wind. The Lotus Flower. The lotus is associated with the creation of the universe and coming into being. If one entrusts his life to the Buddha's wisdom, that person can be reincarnated and reborn on a lotus in the Western Pure Land, also known as the Land of Bliss, Sukhavati. The lotus can be equated to a mother's womb. The lotus grows in a pond or a swamp and is not tainted by mud. It also has a subtle yet distinct fragrance. These characteristics represent purity, nobility, and grandeur. The lotus possesses four virtues: fragrance, cleanliness, clarity, and purity. The throne where the Buddha or a Bodhisattva sit is also called the Lotus Throne. A Bodhisattva is a person who is on the way towards awakening, attaining Buddhahood and nirvana. Nirvana is the liberation from suffering and samsara, the cycle of birth and rebirth. The robes of nuns and monks can be referred to as lotus garments, reminding one that he or she should remain clean and unsullied by worldly cares, like a lotus flower. The Lotus Sutra is a major text in Buddhism that contains the final teachings of the Buddha. It's worth noting that Shakyamuni is another name for the Buddha, who was born Siddhartha Gautama in present-day Nepal. The Dragon. Originally in India, the king cobra, or Indian snake spirit, was adopted as a protector of the teachings of the Buddha. When Buddhism made its way to China, the snake was replaced by a dragon, and Korean Buddhism kept the dragon motif. The snake, or dragon king, is one of the 8 supernatural beings found in Indian mythology. These beings were originally evil, but were converted by the Buddha, and they let go of their evil ways. The 8 supernatural beings were the Deva, the Naga, the Yaksa, the Gandharva, the Asura, the Garuda, the Kinnara, and the Mahoraga. A dragon's head and tail can be seen protruding out of staircases, roofs, and other parts of a temple. In this case, it's associated to a dragon ship of wisdom that's heading to paradise. The dragon acts as a ferry that carries believers across the sea of samsara to the Pure Land shores. The dragon can also be found on temple bell hooks called porwe, and is seen as the source of the reverberation of the bells. The bells in question are called Brahma bells. The wooden strikers that hit the Brahma bells are traditionally whale-shaped. The dragon fears whales, and it lets out a loud scream when a whale runs into it, thus creating the sound of the bell. The image of a dragon can be found on the underside of some bridges, canopies, crossbeams, or ceilings inside Dharma halls, also known as lecture halls. Since the dragon represents both a listener of the Buddha's teachings, as well as a protector of the Buddha and Buddha's land, its presence preserves the sanctity of the temple and protects the Buddha's image and his teachings. It is said that the dragon can sacrifice itself for the well-being of others. Also, the Maitreya, future Buddha, will achieve Buddhahood in a lotus garden under a dragon flower tree. The turtle. The turtle is associated to longevity, eternity, and the continuation of life. It's usually seen with a stone tablet on its shell, which is usually a prayer. The turtle is seen as a seafaring escort to the Dragon Palace, or Pure Land and the Sea. This comes from the Dragon King of the Sea Sutra. The Dragon King heard the Buddha preaching and invited him to his Dragon Palace located at the bottom of the sea. The Dragon King is often represented as an old man. He can transform between dragon and human form. Stairs were laid from his palace to the heaven of the 33 gods. The Buddha entered the palace, accepted the Dragon King's offering, and proceeded to present and explain his teachings, known as the Great Dharma. The turtle serves the function of turning the space where it's found into the utopian Dragon Palace, or Pure Land of the Buddha, because the turtle itself is believed to be a part of the Buddha's Pure Land. The swastika. The sign most frequently used to identify buildings that are part of a Buddhist temple is the swastika. It was originally right-facing, and it's always been an auspicious symbol and a sign of good luck and good fortune. It is called manjamun in Korean. It has been used for centuries by many cultures. Sadly, it has also been used by Nazi Germany and other ill-reputable groups to spread hatred and racial bias. There are many interpretations of the swastika in Buddhism. In Sanskrit, swastika means well-being. It signifies a microcosm created on earth in which its inhabitants suffer the 4 distresses of birth, aging, disease, and death. These were observed by Buddha when he left his palace, crossing the 4 gates to the outside world. The swastika symbolizes the auspicious footprint of the Buddha and eternal cycling known as samsara. The left-facing swastika became most common during the Joseon dynasty. Nowadays, the right-facing swastika is rarely used. Dancheong. Dancheong refers to wooden structures adorned with various patterns and designs painted using 5 basic colors: red, blue-green, yellow, black, and white. It's a painting style found all over Korea in temples, palaces, and Confucian shrines. The 5 colors represent the 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water, as well as the 4 cardinal directions and the center. Symmetry is paramount in Dancheong. Dancheong's fundamental purpose is the protection of the soft pine tree wood that is used in building temples, shrines, and palaces. It also reflects the principle of yin and yang. There are 4 main styles of Dancheong: the Gachil Dancheong, the Gutki Dancheong, the Moru Dancheong, and the Gum Dancheong. The Gachil Dancheong is the simplest since it involves usually using only one color and adding no patterns. Gutki Dancheong involves painting straight lines, usually in black and white. Moru Dancheong has more elaborate patterns but doesn't cover the entirety of a surface. Gum Dancheong is the most elaborate. It means elegant Dancheong. The entire surface is painted with more complexity. The radiant wave symbolizes the Buddha's teachings and the illumination it provides to all. The circle patterns represent samsara and Buddha's wisdom. The triangle-looking mesh patterns are meant to represent an iron armor. The armor shows a devotee's resolve to stand firm on his way towards discovering the truth. Related to Dancheong is the Pyol-ji-hwa style of painting only found in temples. It can represent a multitude of things ranging from natural objects like bamboo, clouds, or birds, and also the Buddha or fantastic animals. Here are some examples. The phoenix is associated with pristine nature. The crane is thought to have supernatural traits, can fly up to the Milky Way, and live more than 1,600 years. The tiger is related to the mountain spirit. It is thought that images of tigers could drive off calamities and sickness. The 8 treasures are auspicious motifs that originated from Taoism and Buddhism. The Buddhist treasures are the Dharma wheel, conch shell, precious umbrella, white canopy, lotus blossom, precious vase, goldfish, and endless knot. Other motifs found in temples are brush and ink, fan, curved jade, gourd, deva garment, heavenly flowers, and sutra texts. The precious flower motif takes a lotus flower as basic theme and adds layers of petals and colors to create an idealized flower. The peony is a symbol of prosperity, beauty, and good fortunes. The Chinese grass motif is a pattern used to decorate temples quite often. Monster masks, or multicolored faces. Faces of so-called monsters can be found both inside and outside temples. Usually, the monsters have big bulging eyes, wide noses, whiskers, horns, and grinning mouths, showing sharp canines. They sometimes have lotus vines or lotuses in their mouth. The function of a monster mask is to repel evil spirits by scaring them away. Monster masks are inspired by the Kirtimukha in Indian Buddhist temples. Monster masks found in the same room have their eyes looking in different directions to cover different corners of the temple and stop evil spirits from entering and hiding. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. You can also join my channel, which would be greatly appreciated. Stay tuned for more videos on the rich history of Korea.